The ancient people who built Europe's first great stone monuments seemed to disappear without a trace. For more than a century, archaeologists believe they slowly merged with neighboring communities or simply faded into history. But what if that wasn't true? What if an entire population vanished, leaving behind only silent tombs and abandoned fields? In 2026, a remarkable DNA study from northern France uncovered evidence that may finally answer one of prehistory's greatest mysteries. Hidden inside a Stone Age burial chamber were the remains of 132 people, and their genomes revealed a story of disease, collapse, and a complete population replacement that changed the course of European history forever. About 30 miles north of Paris lies the quiet village of Berry. At first glance, the site looks unremarkable. Just a long stone chamber, partially buried beneath the earth. But beneath those weathered slabs is one of Europe's most extraordinary archaeological discoveries. This type of monument, known as a gallery grave, was built more than 5,000 years ago by some of Europe's earliest farming communities. These weren't tombs for kings or warriors. They were communal resting places where entire families were buried together across generations. For decades, archaeologists viewed Berry as just another Neolithic cemetery. Then scientists decided to read the story hidden inside the bones themselves. And what they uncovered would rewrite everything historians thought they knew. An international team of researchers extracted ancient DNA from the teeth of every individual buried inside the tomb. Advances in genetic technology now allow scientists to reconstruct family relationships that were impossible to detect only a few years ago. As the genomes were assembled, an incredible picture emerged. The first people buried at Berry weren't strangers placed together by chance. They belonged to one enormous extended family. Parents rested beside children. Brothers lay near sisters. Grandparents, cousins, nieces, and nephews all formed a genetic network stretching across at least 5 generations. It was as though someone had preserved an entire community inside stone. Their ancestry pointed back to the first farmers who entered Europe thousands of years earlier from Anatolia in what is now modern-day Turkey. These farming pioneers transformed Europe forever by introducing agriculture, domesticated animals, and permanent villages. They also built the massive stone monuments that still stand across Britain, France, Ireland, and Scandinavia today. Berry wasn't simply a burial site. It represented the descendants of the people who sparked one of humanity's greatest cultural revolutions. But while the family trees looked remarkably complete, something about the cemetery didn't make sense. Archaeologists studying the skeletons noticed an unusual pattern. Far too many of the dead were children, teenagers, and young adults. In a healthy farming community, deaths should be spread across all ages. Instead, Berry showed signs of a population under immense stress. Something was striking people down long before they reached old age. The researchers searched for clues hidden inside the ancient DNA itself. What they found was alarming. Several individuals carried genetic traces of Yersinia pestis, the bacterium responsible for plague. This wasn't the same strain that devastated Europe during the medieval Black Death, but it belonged to the same deadly family. It proved that plague was circulating across Europe thousands of years earlier than many people imagine. The surprises didn't end there. Scientists also identified evidence of louse-borne relapsing fever, a disease that spreads quickly through crowded communities. Other infections appeared as well, including intestinal illnesses capable of weakening already vulnerable populations. Suddenly, Berry looked less like a peaceful village cemetery and more like the aftermath of repeated health crises. Yet the researchers were careful not to jump to conclusions. Only a handful of individuals carried evidence of plague, meaning it couldn't explain the disappearance of the entire community on its own. Disease was clearly part of the story, but not the whole story. Whatever happened at Berry was likely the result of multiple pressures arriving at the same time. Then another piece of evidence entered the picture, not from bones, but from tiny grains of ancient pollen preserved beneath the soil. Pollen, Records act like natural time capsules, revealing which plants dominated the landscape thousands of years ago. Around the same time the burials at Bury suddenly stopped, the surrounding countryside began changing dramatically. Fields once cleared for farming slowly disappeared beneath expanding forests. Trees reclaimed land that people had cultivated for generations. Human activity almost vanished from the region. This wasn't just happening around Bury. Similar environmental changes appeared across large parts of France and neighboring regions. Archaeological sites that had once been thriving became strangely quiet. Villages were abandoned. Construction of new megalithic monuments slowed dramatically or stopped altogether. Across northwestern Europe, an entire way of life seemed to be collapsing. For nearly 2 centuries, Bury remained silent. No new burials entered the tomb. No evidence suggested that descendants returned to care for the monument. It was as if the people who built it had simply disappeared. Then around 2900 BC, everything changed. A new community arrived and reopened the ancient tomb. They began placing their own dead inside the same chamber. At first glance, archaeologists assumed these newcomers must have been descendants of the original builders. After all, why would strangers choose someone else's burial place? Ancient DNA delivered a stunning answer. They weren't descendants at all. The genomes showed an unmistakable genetic break between the two groups. The people returning to Bury centuries later shared almost no close ancestry with those who had built the monument. Instead, their DNA traced largely to farming populations from the Iberian Peninsula and southern France. They had migrated north into territory that had already been emptied. The shift wasn't subtle. It appeared almost overnight in genetic terms. The male lineages changed dramatically, suggesting that entirely different family groups had established themselves in the region. Even social organization looked different. The earlier community displayed large, interconnected family networks spanning multiple generations. The later burials reflected smaller, more tightly organized family groups with stronger patrilineal traditions. Everything pointed toward replacement rather than gradual mixing. Bury wasn't an isolated case. Across Europe, similar changes were unfolding, although not always involving the same people. In Scandinavia, genetic studies show that incoming populations carrying ancestry from the Eurasian steppe expanded into regions once occupied by earlier farming communities. In Western Europe, however, migrants from Iberia appear to have filled many of the abandoned landscapes instead. The result was a continent undergoing one of the greatest demographic transformations in prehistoric history. What makes Bury especially powerful is that it preserves both worlds inside one monument. The first community built the tomb, buried generations of relatives there, and then vanished. Centuries later, another population entered the same sacred space without sharing the bloodlines of its original builders. They inherited the monument, but not the people who created it. This discovery also changes how archaeologists think about Europe's famous megaliths. For years, researchers debated whether changing burial traditions simply reflected evolving religious beliefs. Bury suggests that at least in some regions, the explanation may be far more dramatic. If the original builders disappeared during a widespread demographic collapse, later communities may have reused ancient monuments because they encountered them already standing in abandoned landscapes. They weren't continuing an unbroken tradition, they were adapting the remnants of another civilization. Even today, many questions remain unanswered. Why did some farming communities collapse while others survived? Did shifting climates reduce harvests and weaken populations before disease spread? Did competition over resources increase as villages struggled? Could additional pathogens still be hidden inside ancient bones, waiting to be discovered? Every new excavation adds another piece to a puzzle that has remained incomplete for thousands of years. The speed of modern DNA technology means that archaeologists are now uncovering answers once thought impossible. 20 years ago, researchers could only compare pottery styles and stone tools. Today, they can reconstruct entire family trees, trace migrations across continents, identify ancient diseases, and reveal relationships between people separated by millennia. Every skeleton has become a historical document written in genetic code. Berry stands as one of the clearest examples of this scientific revolution. Its silent stone walls witnessed the rise of one community, its tragic disappearance, and the arrival of another. For centuries, the monument guarded that secret without saying a word. Only now, 5,000 years later, have scientists learned how to listen. The story of Berry reminds us that history isn't always a tale of steady progress. Sometimes entire worlds disappear, leaving behind only fragments buried beneath the earth. Civilizations rise, flourish, and collapse for reasons that are often far more complex than a single battle or a single disease. The people who built Europe's earliest great stone monuments probably never imagined their descendants would vanish from the land they shaped. Yet their tomb remained, waiting patiently for future generations to uncover the truth. And perhaps the most fascinating part is that Berry may not be unique. Hundreds of similar Neolithic tombs still lie scattered across Europe, many yet to undergo full genetic analysis. If their DNA tells the same story, we may be witnessing the beginning of a complete rewrite of European prehistory. What archaeologists once considered isolated mysteries could turn out to be chapters of one enormous continental transformation. The next ancient genome could reveal another forgotten community, another unexpected migration, or another moment when history changed forever. And if Berry has taught us anything, it's that some of humanity's greatest discoveries have been waiting beneath our feet all along.